Hey, are you struggling with enlarged pores? Well, most of my clients do complain about this. So I created this video to help you with tips and tricks and ingredients that I know that will be beneficial. So if you're interested, then keep watching. The cause of enlarged pores is not fully understood, though there is a hereditary component, but there are 3 contributing factors. So there is an increase in oil production. So the oil and the cellular debris enlarge the pore, right? And then UV damage and aging, because those damage the collagen in the skin. And when that is damaged, it's not as firm and strong to keep the pores closed. So in order to combat these things, these 3 things, we need ingredients and treatment. So let's break it down. So there is an oil production increase in women's cycles, right? And as hormones fluctuate, our oil productions will fluctuate. So there's not a lot you can do about the hormonal components. So when you ovulate, progesterone increases, and progesterone increases oil production. So you just want to be aware of that. So sometimes increasing your exfoliation right before your period, not when you have your period, but right before it, can help with breakouts. So let's talk about the ingredients that you need specifically. Now, before we get to the ingredients, which are coming, I want to talk about some things that you may be doing that's making your pore size look worse. Okay, so and things that you're doing that can be contributing to breakouts. So one is using oil-based products. So serums, creams, makeups. Now there's a fine balance in this. You don't want to go totally oil-free, because if there's a lack of oil in the skin will overcompensate and create more oil, and then you'll have enlarged pores. So there's definitely a balance, but you just want to be aware of the products that you're using and how much oil is in all of them, and try and use some oil-free and then balance it out with some hydrators. Because if you overdry the skin, it will get flaky, which also will clog the pores. So the other thing is using harsh exfoliators or scrubs or brushes, right? You can't scrub away blackheads. They're under the skin, okay? And so as you scrub too much, you irritate the skin, you dry out the skin, it can cause flaking, which will clog the pores and lead to enlarged pores and to breakouts. So you don't want to scrub, and you don't want to use too many oily based products. Okay, another thing you might be forgetting is your SPF. So you definitely need SPF. I know some people think that SPF clogs them, but there are so many good SPFs now, and I'll link some down below. But if you get UV damage, again, it's going to degrade the collagen, which is going to make your pores look worse. So you need SPF all the time to protect the skin. Another thing that you might not be doing is moisturizing. So I talked about it with the, be careful with the oil products, but you have to moisturize, whether it be a serum and then you put an SPF over it, or a really lightweight moisturizer, because you just don't want to dry out your skin, because that just will cause a host of other problems. So moisturize and SPF are super important. Don't leave those out. Okay, so there's really 2 ingredients that really will help. So number 1, which is most important, which has helped me a lot, is using a beta hydroxy acid or salicylic acid. So beta hydroxy acid does really well with oil. So it will get into the pores and help dissolve the oil and the debris in your pores. So ideally in a leave-on product, okay? And then beta hydroxy acids are better than alpha hydroxy acids, which tends to be like glycolic and lactic. Those are more hydrating acids, but they don't do well in breaking down the oil. And that's what we really need, is we need to reduce the oil production to help make the pores appear smaller, okay? And then the other thing that's really important is using a retinol or retinoid. So prescription, adapalene, Tazorac are really popular, and those are the best. And the over-the-counter Differin, I would highly recommend. It used to be prescription, and now you can buy it over-the-counter for like under $15. So that would be my first line of defense, and use that nightly. So you can use these actives at night, okay? But I also use my salicylic toner during the day. Like if I work out and I cleanse my face, just to get oils as like a cleansing method. But the retinols you want to use at night because obviously they make you a little photosensitive. And now these products can be drying, which again is why you need a moisturizer to counterbalance the drying effects that these can have on you. So you can, when you're using a retinol, you can cleanse at night, put a moisturizer on, let it dry, and then like 30 minutes later, put your retinol on. So that'll help kind of make it a little less strong for you if you find that it dries you out. And then you can also just apply these active ingredients, right, only to your problem areas. You don't have to apply them to the areas where you're not having the oil production problems. Okay, so that will also help. So don't, apply it everywhere if you feel that you are not oily in those areas. So really just spot treat, and that will really help as well. So you really want to use, there's a host of skin firming ingredients, and I'll do a whole nother video on that, but to keep it simple, really salicylic acid and ideally different would be like my top choices, and the salicylic and a leave-on product. So I will also do a video on retinol versus retinoid, because retinols are good, right? The over-the-counter ones that are found in a lot of products, but your skin has to do a little bit more work to make it as effective. So I would just start with the adapalene because it used to be a prescription. It's a 3rd generation retinoid. So that's very effective for aging and for acne. So it's like a double win, right? But a lot of people use these retinols over the counter, and they are effective. They just take a little bit longer to work because of how the skin has to break them down to get them into a more effective form of the retinoid. So that's just a side note. So there is a study in Science Direct, and I'm going to link it below, talking about DHEA and helping to kind of basically build collagen in simple terms, but read the article. It's very interesting. I'm not a doctor, but I like to find new information and I'll present it to you, and then you do your own research or talk to your physician. But it is interesting to see about topical DHEA, the results that they found with that. And there are a lot of people that take DHEA as well as an anti-aging type of medicine, but that's something that you can research. Again, I'm not a doctor, but there is some really good information, and I will link it down below if you're interested in learning more about that. 4 things that you need, right? So you need a beta hydroxy acid, which is salicylic acid, ideally as a leave-on. You need a retinoid or a retinol, but ideally a retinoid, different. You need an SPF, and you need a moisturizer. Okay, so I'll link some down below. But a lot of clients, right, you're 40, you're getting older, and you feel like your pores are getting worse, right? And you'll say, I didn't have acne as a kid, and what the heck is going on? It's from the sun damage, right? So your skin is getting weaker because you have that photo damage. So you want to prevent more photo damage, right? So just wear the SPF and then use these ingredients to help start to firm the skin. And then I will do the video about skin firming treatments and pore reducing treatments. So be sure to watch that. I hope you like this video, so please be sure to subscribe, tell your friends, let me know any topics that you're interested in. I'd be glad to share my knowledge and experiences with treatments and ingredients over the past 18 years as a business owner, spa owner. I love talking about this stuff, and please subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.